Hello Summoners and welcome back to another ProGuides video. Today we'll be discussing the 5 types of junglers that you'll encounter in solo queue. From the 200 IQ macro god to the farming Yi jungle, solo queue has it all. But before we get too far into it though, our question of the day is, which jungle champion do you prefer having on your team? Drop your answers in the comments down below, or go ahead and hop into our Discord and discuss it with the rest of the ProGuides community. Now, without further delay, let's go ahead and get started. The first type of jungler you'll meet in solo queue is the AFK farming jungler. Probably, but not exclusively, a Master Yi player. The AFK farmer starts their clear at 130 and doesn't stop their clear until the Nexus blows up for either team. They don't respond to chat and they don't respond to pings, they just farm. For the AFK farmer, there is only late game, only scaling. They will probably just keep collecting gold in the name of reaching the power spike as fast as possible, but they probably won't do anything with this power spike at all except for kill jungle camps and minions faster. They don't actually perform any jungle duties like taking objectives or ganking, so they're probably not going to be able to be relied on. Unless a gank is put on a silver platter, probably as silver as they are, they probably won't be able to do anything. On the plus side, if your team manages to go even or better in the lanes, then the AFK will just eventually hit their fabled power spikes and start popping off. Ultimately, they are just choosing the path of the least resistance and coin flipping their games and praying for a favorable outcome. You can't expect consistent results if you're not a proactive force in your games, and that is why AFK farmers tend to hover in silver or gold, where they're not as punished for scaling so passively. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the second type of jungler you'll meet in solo queue is the OVERGANKER. Where the AFK farmer spends too much time farming, the OVERGANKER spends too much time in your lane. They clear their first camp and they gank at level 2. They run back into their jungle, clear another 2 camps and hit level 3, and then they immediately gank again. Scuttle's up, they fight over Scuttle and then immediately gank again. If this first set of events goes well, then you're probably going to be in a good shape to win. But if it yields nothing, then you're probably gonna lose. They're as coin flippy as the AFK farmer, but for the opposite reason. They just commit too many resources to trying to apply pressure on the map, and if they don't get fed enough on their initial clear or 2, they find themselves falling behind. Or worse, feeding kills to the enemy because they're behind in experience and gold. These junglers prefer a strong early game champion like Xin Zhao or Graves, and they're probably full throttle the second the game begins. They're playing for blood and they don't care who knows it. Just try to make sure that you're setting them up for success by giving them gankable lanes and spoon feeding them kills. Their high risk, high reward playstyle goes south way too easily if you cater the entire game to their aggression. Plus, if they feel like you're not doing enough to make the gank happen, then they'll turn into toxic flame lords and spend the rest of the game calling you useless. So that's fun. The third type of jungler you meet in solo queue is the Rager. The Rager has a delicate mindset, and once a single thing goes wrong, their mental is shot for the rest of the game. Did they get invaded at level 1? Oh well, they're angry. Did the enemy jungler successfully get a level 2 gank? Angry. Top lane asks for a gank? Big angry. Our poor baby can't handle a single negative thing happening to them, which is a shame. Because if they just grow some thicker skin and learn how to roll with a single punch, just a single punch, they'd probably be a full rank higher than they are now. But they're not thick-skinned, and they have never rolled with a single punch in their lives. So instead, you're gonna wind up with some bent out of shape Rager spamming you every time that you just don't do anything in their expectation. They don't care if you have 2 full waves crashing on your tower. You better come help them and contest their last mini raptor or else. Your best bet with Raiders is to play your best and just mute them. A lot of the time, just trying to calm them down will make them angrier. So it's best to just mind your own business and try to make the game easier for them and as ideal for them as possible. Hopefully it pays off and you end up with a sentient teammate instead of a screeching spam-paying nuisance. Just be a little bit cautious that you don't literally fan their flames because you don't know what's going on in their life. So just make sure you're as nice as you could possibly be. Kill them with kindness. The fourth type of jungler that you meet in solo queue is the Tactician. This is the elusive jungler that actually knows what the hell they're doing and strikes a healthy balance between farming, ganking, and objective control. They know where they need to be and when they need to be there, and you can rely on them to create a strong and meaningful lead for your team. Whether they're an actual peer of yours or a smurf or a booster is a mystery, but it really hardly matters. You're too busy admiring them ruin the enemy jungler's life to bother asking them for their origins. And even if you do ask, they probably won't answer you because this game is nothing but a fleeting second in the eternity of their gigabrain lives. The way they track the enemy jungler is an art form, and the odds are that they're even the one issuing the pings to shock call the team's rotations, leading them to a smooth and clean victory. While you generally see the Tactician on some kind of strong snowballing champion so you can see them have as much influence on the game as possible, they're capable of doing whatever they need to round out the team comp because they have the basics mastered. The only regularly occurring flaw that these players face is that sometimes they expect everyone to be on the same page as they are, and they make a play that relies on team synergy that simply just isn't there. If they continue to overestimate the team coordination and start tilting, they can be quick to resign themselves to just going next and hoping for a better team in the next game, despite the current one still being winnable. Most likely though, with macro play and decision making like that, they're probably avid pro guide watchers, just like you guys. The fifth type of jungler you meet in solo queue is the Disco NUNU. Disco NUNU is just what happens when one of the league's whinier and more emotionally fragile denizens gets too cranky. Why they're pissed off is a mystery. Maybe they just got out of a bad game, maybe they just had a rough day in real life. Maybe their mom overcooked their dino nuggies, or maybe their dad told them to stop eating crayons. I don't know. It doesn't matter why they're throwing a hissy fit, all that matters is that they've locked in NUNU and they're ghosting and taking cleanse. And they're probably going to be running it down as often as they possibly can manage. Bonus points if Disco NUNU wasn't even meant to be your jungler and he was just instead smiting away camps from your actual jungler. If there is no actual jungler to victimize, Disco NUNU will state himself by smiting cannon minions from your laners on his way to feed the enemy kills. If you're lucky, Disco NUNU is just bluffing in champ select trying to get other people to dodge. And if you call him on that bluff and it doesn't happen, then he'll just remove himself from the situation and return to his prosperous life of recreational asphalt licking. If you're less lucky, the game will actually start and you can kiss your LP goodbye. I'm personally too spiteful to ever negotiate with terrorists and let a Disco NUNU make me dodge. But the safer bet is just to remove yourself from the champ select so your LP doesn't get taken hostage. Thanks again for watching, guys. Please remember to hop into the comments or our Discord to tell us what jungle champion that you prefer having on your team. That way we can go ahead and hit you guys with that hot, fresh heart react, as we really do love hearing from you guys. Until next time, guys, good luck on the Rift, stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.